All right. So here we are getting started. I'm Lacey from the library. I'm so happy to see all the familiar faces. And we have Gabriela here as well.
Hola, hola a todos. Thank you for being here. I'm very happy that this is happening and we are starting, and Joy, Lacey, and I were planning this. And this year is going to be a lot of surprises, and we want to share with you and start planning like before everybody stays busy with the summer. And here is with us, Joy.
Hey guys. Looking forward to it. We've been brainstorming, and we're really excited to share what we're planning.
So I suppose starting off with the date is pretty important. The date of the event is Saturday, October 8th. It is again at Keewaydin Farms. And the address at Keewaydin Farms, Joy, is
15270 Hockey Lane, Viola, Wisconsin.
So what you see here, this is a save the date reminder that Gabriela has put together for us. This is going to be distributed starting this month, in a couple of weeks, when the Consulate of Mexico office in Milwaukee will be visiting Viroqua. So that is happening the last weekend of this month, where the consulate's office is going to be providing consulate services by appointment to about 240 people throughout the weekend. So we're really hopeful to start broadcasting the message at that time. And then the idea is from there is to be able to pass these out leisurely here and there. I know I'm going to keep a stack of them and be able to hand them out. I'll keep a large stack at the library, so if any volunteer wants to come by and take a few to hand out to their family, friends, or to hang up on your own refrigerator at home, you're welcome to ask for some from me at the library. That's great, Dana. So that is one aspect of it.
Yeah, and in the bottom, as you know, this activity is organized in a collaboration between the library, McIntosh Memorial Library, the Mexican Folk Art Collective that I represent, and the Consulate of Mexico in Milwaukee, supported with promotion, and Driftless Curiosity, represented by Joy. But we, of course, are just a small team, but we need the help of a lot of volunteers, and we are amazed that last year we were 60 volunteers working together in this event, and so we hope that we can get that number. And one important thing is that the library applied for a grant, so if we get it, this is what we are going to present now is the ideal plan, depending on the grant. But if not, we have to adjust some stuff. But hopefully, we are putting all the good energy to this. Thank you, Lacey, for applying for this. Well, I'm going to talk first about the topic of this year is the ofrenda. You know that it's dedicated every year to someone. Last year, it was dedicated to the community people that was passed away because of the COVID or during the last 2 years. This year, we wanted to dedicate to the environmental activist that has been killed during the last years. And one of them was an activist that was fighting for preserving the forest of the monarch butterflies in Mexico. So we want to take as well the butterfly as a symbol in common in the activities that we are going to do, because also for the Day of the Dead is a symbol that represents the souls from the Aztecs, from the Mayans, and from the pre-Hispanic cultures. So we want to take these symbols representing both the environmental activists and also the Day of the Dead souls that we are remembering. So, well, they are some of the activists that we want to remember that day. It has been like every day, like could be a bad thing for the activists because the only thing that they do is like to fight for keeping the environment, and we feel that it was going to be good to dedicate this time for them. So so yeah, this is a monarch butterfly, just to put it together. And this year we are thinking to make some activities extra, different than the last year. One of them is the Zompantli. Zompantli, you know that the Aztecs, if you go to Mexico City, you go to the Centro Mayor and you can see something similar than this. It was a wall of skulls, and now we can take this like an inspiration and put it on the ofrenda. The idea is that we are going to have a workshop with Ripley's Curiosity in August, right, Joy? And we are going to make a decorated skull in paper mache. I'm going to teach that workshop, and the idea is that the people that takes that workshop can also be part of this exhibition. We can make or build a Zompantli. So it's gonna be like a representation of different expressions through a wall of decorated skulls. This will be part of the ofrenda, so it's just like an additional thing that we want to have.
Gabby, do you have an estimated number of like how many you think you want to make for this?
Well, I want to make at least 20, but hopefully we can do more, but at least 20 we can do something. Or 15, yeah. Something that could be like just like, you know, a wall. I was thinking we can make a frame, like a structure with wood, and we can hang it from there like some rope and make the holes in the skull, and then attach it with knots, and then the other.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that could be an idea, but we'll see depending on how many we are.
Sounds good. We could maybe get other people to help make them too.
Yeah. So after we talk about the volunteers, we can see how many people can help with this, and maybe we can build more with that. That would be amazing. So then another thing that we are planning is that we are also planning a workshop with Pedro Nezahualcóyotl, a textile artist from the collective. We are trying that he can come and he can give this workshop of textiles, also in Ripley's Curiosity. And the goal is that also the people can be part of the students taking this workshop can be part of this exhibition, but also Pedro is bringing some textiles that we can also put on a frame next to the ofrenda. So also with this topic of connecting with the nature, because what he does is natural dyes. So it's also like all the topic about the ofrenda and about what the activities that we are doing, it's connected with nature too. So because of what we are going to offer, no, the ofrenda. And another new workshop that we are thinking is that people can decorate calaveritas de azúcar. These in the image are the traditional one called alfeñique. We didn't we wouldn't do like this exactly traditional, but we found a way to do it last year, and in a like sugar mixed with egg, and then with molds, and then with that thing that you decorate the cakes. I don't know how to say. You can decorate them, and they're pretty close to what it is. And so the idea is that we take the white skulls and people can decorate in the place. And another thing is the community mural or mural comunitario. We think to have boards, like wood boards, and a mural is from Milwaukee is coming, and Ryan is contacting him. He's Mexican American. So the topic also that we want to do with the mural is about this, no, having representation of the monarch butterflies and the activists, environmental. And also another idea that we had is like in a part of the mural we can have some stencil, like the silhouette of the butterflies, where people can write the names of their people that have passed away. So even if people like feel shy to be painting it, they can feel like okay with writing the names. Or another option that also we were talking is that we can make like silhouettes of butterflies in paper, and then can write something and they can stick in the mural. So could be like, we want to invite all the community to be part of this. So at the end, it's gonna be like part of what the muralist is gonna be doing, but also inviting kids to paint some stuff and inviting the people or the community to write something. So it's something that we are going to do like together, everybody, no? And at the end, we're going to put like the boards together, and it's gonna be like a big mural. So that's mainly what's new. And now Lacey is gonna share a form and explain what we think about the logistic. You are in mute, Lacey.
You're on mute, something we've all been accustomed to hearing over the past year, huh? First, I wanted to ask if there were any questions, just in general, about what Gabby went over. And to also, yeah, please, Natalie.
It all sounds amazing. I'm curious if the mural, like where it's going to end up after the event.
Great question. So we are going at the library is going to take the mural and we're going to display it in the library's lobby immediately following the event until the end of the year, until the end of 2022. And then after that, it will go into storage, but we will take it out for promotional purposes. So if the Mexico Consulate Office of Milwaukee comes back to Viroqua again, yearly, we would then, for example, take this mural and set it up there at their mobile office location to put it on display. And then it will be again shown the following year throughout the month of September in acknowledgement of Hispanic Heritage Month. So there are a lot of good ways that we want to bring it back out. And this is also similar as well for the way of the ofrenda. So this year after the ofrenda, we would like for it to be disassembled and reassembled in the library's lobby space until the end of October. And this is all things that we've been, Gabby and Joy and I have been talking about really for the purposes of the grant, but to also really embrace the idea of expanding the impact of this event from one day, but really letting it proudly be exhibited and shown. And so people who aren't able to attend the actual event can still be aware of it and see it and experience it.
Yeah, we also like if the mural after being in the library, if I don't know. I'm just thinking now, like maybe if another space in town want to exhibit, I mean, I think we will be open also to
Absolutely. Yeah,
share.
absolutely. Great. So we touched on those new ideas and new concepts for this year. Of course, the ofrenda. New for this year as well are some food vendors. Joy, do you want to chat with us a little bit about that? Nope, you're on mute too.
Right. So we decided this year to do the food a little bit differently. Since it's a longer event, we wanted to give people the choice to kind of get food whenever they want. So we're switching to a food truck vendors. So there'll be hopefully two different taco trucks that will have food available for purchase. But then there will also be volunteer food for free for the event too. There'll be lunch and I think maybe some snacks, beverages.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Joy. Let's see if there's anything else to touch on as far as new goes. Well, I can say what will be continuing again are the bilingual story times, the Spanish book giveaway provided by the library, the consulate officers have already mentioned that they're very happy to come back and attend the event. And hopefully I see Alejandra is on the call. We're really hopeful that she would be so willing to come back and perform the dance for us. Yes, that's amazing. And to teach the workshop. So exciting. New for this year as well is the library is also taken on the task to write a grant to be able to fund 2 different musical groups that would be joining us from Milwaukee. One is a Latino, our Latino strings program for youth. It's an orchestra, youth orchestra. And then secondly is the Mariachi Monarcas, also out of Milwaukee as well. So that is all a brewing right now as we speak. Meetings are happening throughout the rest of this month to see about bringing in live musical components. And I'm really excited about the youth orchestra. And it's actually the mariachi band members are graduates of that youth orchestra. So we're working with one incredible woman who we're going to see if we can make all of that happen. So that would be the other new aspect of things. Great. Okay, that's general overview. Gabby and Joy, anything else to add in?
Well, about the food, also I want to share that it's gonna be pan de muerto again. So
yeah, that was the best. It was so good.
maybe
I ate so much leftover pan de muerto after the event. It's like, you guys don't even want to know how much I ate.
that is a goal to make pan de muerto to give away. Besides the food truck, no. So yeah, that, and also the food for, we are contemplating also this year food for volunteers. So we know that it is a long day to work, and also time, like this request, some of the team will require to work before of the event and after the event. So we want just to be thankful, of course, and also to have something for you to eat that day.
Yep, volunteer meals and snacks, and even as you'll see in this next upcoming point, we've created a volunteer team that's going to focus solely on supporting the volunteers that day and making sure everyone is taken care of. That I think in general is pretty high on the list of priorities between the conversations Gabby and Joy and myself have had, is how do we add in support to the support team. So great. Should we hop into having a look at what we call the volunteer questionnaire? Okay. So, and let me put 1 second here into the chat. So I've just put into the chat as well the link to this volunteer questionnaire. So if the people who have joined us tonight and are live here with us want to put that into their own browsers, they already have that opened up. This same link will be sent out to all of our volunteers that we have in our contact list. And then as we move forward and more and more volunteers begin to appear and step up, everyone will receive this same form. So essentially our intention with this form is to determine the volunteer's interest in specific roles at Dia de los Muertos Celebracion 2022. So I'll just show you quickly here what it looks like. You see that there's one volunteer role listed here, or there is a volunteer assignment that could be here. And then there's a scale, right? 1 to 10. So let me come back up to the directions and we'll look through it a little bit more and we'll dive back down in just a second. So what we're asking for the volunteers on this form is to only use your number 1 just once. Just once. So there are 16 different volunteer options, if you will. Save your number 1 for your top choice. Then as you look through everything else, and if you'd like, you can rate it as a 3, which would mean you're pretty interested in it. Or kind of, as you go down, maybe a 7, 8, or 9 for something that you would do, but you're not, you'd be okay with it. Then there are the number 10s. You can use as many number 10s as you see fit, and we'd actually prefer it for you to use your number 10s pretty liberally. So when you're looking at something and it says along the lines of bilingual, well, if you are not bilingual, that would be a number 10 for you, right? Or, hey, this looks like something I'm just not able to do. I'm not able to lift the heavy logs to build the fireplace. Well, then you'd put it a 10. Or, hey, this looks like it's really extensive on time and I'm looking for something that's a little bit shorter. I just want to do something on the day of the event. That would also then be a 10, right? So we're just looking for you basically to tell us exactly what you want to do with a 1, some things that you may be interested in, and then number 10s on things that that we wouldn't consider putting you into that role because it's just not going to work for you. And then to recap that, absolutely, the number 1 that you choose will more than likely, that is going to be exactly that's what you want to do. That's what you're going to do. It's just as we go along here, we want to make sure that there's good balance to things and we can really make sure that people are volunteering and across the whole board where we need people to step up to be in. And then as we get closer to the event, if we notice that, oh, we're really lacking on this person was sort of interested, let's touch base with them and see what's up with that. Or maybe they know of somebody else who really has the same interest and they can step up to do it, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, is there anything else to really mention about that, Gabby or Joy?
Yeah, well, the idea of this is we think that the idea of this is making teams, like a team of, for example, the artist assistant, a team of security, a team of different things that you're going to see here. But in that way, it's kind of in a pyramid. So we want some leaders of volunteers in each section. And in that way, you are going to be able to invite more volunteers to your team, but you are going to be leading. The idea is that, and that will be easier to coordinate and for the logistic. We, Joy, Lacey, and I will always be helping you. Like as leaders, you can be contacting us. We have also split the teams. So some of you are going to contact directly to Lacey, some of you are going to contact directly Joy or to me, depending on what is the team. But this is the idea of making kind of like a pyramid that we can communicate with you and you can be in communication with your team.
Mm-hmm.
So the link is in the chat if you want to be checking directly now. Lexi put it on the chat, and you can let us know if you have some questions. I don't know if you want to add something else, Joy.
Oh, I just had one question I thought of while I was looking at the form here and thinking about, if we had, creating a balance on the team so that everything is covered. Are we going to consider for people to be on more than one team, or are they just assigned to one team and then that's their focus?
My response to that is if they feel like that's within their capacity, then I think that would be fine. Something to point out that's pretty important is that at the bottom of each role or each team definition, what we're doing here is with the asterisks is we're talking about the time commitment that each of them have, to be clear. And also to start at the beginning, we include all of the different responsibilities that a person who signs up for that specific volunteer role that we would be asking of them. To be clear, each one of these options, there will be more than one person in that group. So we do consider them to be more or less teams. At the very least, people working in pairs. That being said, between those two people, between the two or more people, only one person of that team will step up to be the leader, who would then be in contact with either myself, Gabby, or Joy in preparation, as Gabby was explaining, so that we can disperse the information in more of a pyramid type style. And that leader would then be able to relate the information to their other team members. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. If you choose the number one top choice, that does not mean that you are immediately the leader of that group. After this original questionnaire is filled out and we've had a lot of the volunteers be able to take time and fill it out, then comes a secondary step where myself and Gabby and Joy will then start to reach out to people to let them know what groups you're a part of, and then ask people to step up to be leaders. This is essentially the first step, to cast the net, see what people are interested in, so then we can continue to organize from there. That makes sense. Okay, good. I can't see everybody. I got a thumbs up.
For example, here in Artist Assistant, there are different workshops and different activities, as you know. So after, this is just like a general to let us know that you are interested to be an artist assistant. And then we're going to have a meeting with that people that is interested on that. And we are going to give you the different options of the workshops that are considered in that. And then you'll say like, okay, I'm more into dyeing the corn husk, or more into helping with the sugar schools, or different. No?
Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely 100% the case, as Gabby just explained it, that especially with this artist assistant team, there will be strong follow-up with that to then assign people to their artists, like Gabby said. So that's pretty fun. And then the other thing to mention too is that I would suggest to people that as you're looking it over, if it happens to be one of the roles that you fulfilled last year, to make sure to look through the responsibilities and the time commitment, because even if a person had come to volunteer just on that day last year, this year there might be a little bit more or a little bit less, or some different things added to that we want to make sure that you feel we're being very transparent here about what we're asking for. We've really detailed this out so that we can feel like we're all moving forward together on that same page, which is really important to us all. Great, so we were going to take just a few minutes to briefly talk about each one of these different roles, so everybody who's watching here with us now or watching the recording has an idea of what these are. So Gabby, do you want to start us off with artist assistant?
Hi, yeah. So in artist assistants, you can be like assisting the Jessica Coria with the cornhusk flower, or Julieta, a fashion designer that is going to make a workshop for dress for a Katrina, and the confectioning also a Aztec dance dress for Ale. So it's more about learning how to make a dress with corn husk. Or if you have skills on sewing, that will help too. Sugar skulls decoration, or preparing the exhibition for textiles, and helping Pedro with the weaving pieces, uh, or setting up the Katrina and paper mache pieces, or embroidery that Andrea is gonna teach this workshop. So helping her with whatever she needs, or in the community mural, or dancing and makeup. So that will be what this artist assistant will be doing. Like helping whatever the artist would need, especially for the preparation. Like, for example, for the mural, they need to prepare the board, maybe painting on preparing, like be ready for be paint, or making maybe the stencils, or maybe cutting the silhouettes of the butterflies, or helping with the people, coordinating the day of the event, that, or yeah, any other duties that it's needed by the artist. No, in with me they will helping, like maybe putting paper to the big Katrina, or painting some areas, kind of helping just to the artist. With the corn husk flowers, they will need like preparing in advance, like dyeing the corn husk and being ready all the supplies for Jessie in that day. Maybe learning how to do it, and then in the break of Jessie, you can be teaching it while she's eating, and kind of those stuff, no? Yeah, so audiovisual team will be in charge of Lacey, the next one.
Moving on. Well said, Gabby. Gracias. And to
I
expand,
just wanted to say one thing quick.
Yeah.
The artist assistant team, I kind of see this as being one of the larger teams of
Mhm.
volunteers. It seems like we'll probably need a good amount of help on that one.
And to expand on that as well, this is the artist assistant is the most extensive volunteer position that we have, with lots and lots of big rewards. So with that one in particular, we're asking for people to really, if you're signing up for it, it's something that you feel passionate and excited about and curious about, and you'll be really getting things started in September and then all the way through October.
Or August. We will
Yeah.
wait. We'll start on August for the paper mache. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, be prepared. Artist assistant, you're really up and at 'em. It's really exciting. Audio visual team must be tech savvy. What's happening with this one is everything from uploading photographs, also pulling out all of the audio visual equipment that we have, getting things set up, keeping in mind too that there's a whole orchestra that is going to need audio and visual. Something cool about this one too is that we want to set up video cameras so we can do time lapses of the creation of the community mural and of the ofrenda. This is going to be super awesome. Can't wait for that. Time commitment is 1 day of prep, the full day of the event, and half day post-event.
I just wanted to do on the audio visual. I did speak to Brianna King, who kind of headed that up with the interviews last year, and she said she was happy to lead that team and also work with Peter, who was confirmed photographer for the event as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Joy.
And I can talk about the Marigold flower team. They would be in contact with me. It would involve everything starting from the planting of the flowers, which we're going to have a volunteer planting day on June 18th, which is a Saturday. So that would involve just coming to the farm and planting, and then the day of helping with the harvest of the marigolds. I think we said the day before helping with the marigolds too, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that team would be working with me.
And their time commitment, it then sounds like there would be several visits to the farm and then the full day of the event, getting all of that set up. Great, thanks, Joy.
And the cleanup crew would be in contact with me as well too. We were sort of thinking of doing a one person from each volunteer team and a designated to help with the cleanup crew, but then also other people that sign up for it too. This is majority on Sunday, would be kind of coming back and cleaning up after the event. So they would be able to kind of just enjoy the event the day of and kind of come up and do the behind the scenes work the next day.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, decorations, papel picado, and flower papers. So I've been assigned to be the contact person for this one. The library has a lot of materials for this, and we want to offer the library space throughout on a Saturday in September for the people on this team to come together, make papel picados, invite the community to come and join in, making flower papers as well. So the time commitment on this one is that Saturday in September, and then to bring these items to the event and set up and decorate around the space at the farm on the day of. So we would call that like a half day of the event.
So the farm assistant, food vendors, and fire builders would be working directly with me. It would include things like harvesting ingredients, working with the food vendors to make sure they have what they need, as well as keeping the fire burning, and just being a general assistant to Rufus and I as things come up. Last year there was a lot of like extra just like questions or things that like we need an extension cord or various things like that. So it'd be nice to have an extra hand that can help us with that. Also, the fireworks team will be with me. My friend Dave X from Burning Man will be creating a fireworks display. He did, Gabby, say that he could do the Castillo style fireworks as well. So this team would be involved in helping build the show. So like going out into the field and creating the boards and everything for the display, and then also being on hand as a safety person during the show.
Yeah.
We always have like water tanks and spray backpacks set up, and just like general safety around the fireworks. And for this, we want adults.
And surprise, we didn't mention this as one of the new things for this year. Oh yeah, there's also fireworks. So surprise. Medical tent, calm area. The people who are volunteering with this section will be in correspondence with the library staff. To volunteer for this area, you do not need to be a medical professional. We do want to we're currently searching out for a medical professional to come to the event. So if you are listening to this and you are a medical professional, please be in correspondence with me. However, medical tent, calm area, the idea here is that there's going to be an additional space set up for people to receive very, very basic first aid. Essentially, first aid kits are in this area. Somebody's hanging out there. Oh, hey, what happened? What do you need? A Band-Aid? Here you go. Or you can take it right there off the table. And or if somebody's having an emotional response to the event itself, there's a lot of grieving that can happen here. Or maybe somebody's just has their mind completely blown at how beautiful this is, and they just kind of need a space where they can sit and relax and Literally drink water, be in the shade, calm down. That's what this space is for. The time commitment for this is the day of the event. I would imagine that this one is a little bit of a pop in and pop out and just make sure that everything's in that space is going well. Moving on, music assistant youth orchestra. This is going back to the potential that we will have musicians with us. This role is very similar to an artist assistant. I'll let everybody be able to read through that. The people volunteering for this will be in communication with me. I'm really hoping to find somebody who just loves music. That would be a really big plus. The time commitment is some prep time, the full day of the event, and some post-event time as well, to be in communication with the director of the orchestra. They would be staying in the motel in Viroqua, so we want to make sure on the day after the event, if they have any questions or need recommendations, they have somebody in the area to call. And that would be myself and these team members.
Yeah, then we arrive to the ofrenda organizers. This is the heart of the event. You are going to be consistent communication with me, and you are going to have a managed preparation for the ofrenda through the summer and fall, like bring like the food or the elements, or also pick up some supplies from the library before the event, like the papel picado and the paper flowers too, that the other team will be working. Build the basic structure with hay bales and boards the day before of the event. Build the ofrenda through the day of the event and invite the attendees to light the candles at 6 p.m. and have the supplies ready for this. Build the ofrenda at Macintosh Memorial Library after the event, if possible. And yeah, mainly it's also first like design the ofrenda. And this team also is in direct contact of the flower team. So the flower team will build the arc, like last year was leading by Dana. So you can do it again, Dana, if you want. We want you to do it. We are happy you can do it. But anyway, it's your decision. But the ofrenda team is gonna be in direct communication with the art, because it's like together they make the design for it. We think that we are going to use the same spot from last year, but think about the topic that we are using. So what elements we can put. This team also, we would like to be led by a person that knows about the tradition, of course, and knows about all the elements, and well, that they will be in contact with me also, so I can help with this.
And the parking squad will be in contact with me, and Rufus and I will kind of work to come up with a parking plan, and then let the volunteers on this team know prior, like probably like a little bit before the event, what the plan is. And also are they helping with signage too? Yes. Helping hang signage. Similar to last year, we had the artist workshops labeled, and then we might have other areas labeled as well, like not to walk in the gardens, or area where they could be directed to hand washing or bathrooms, things like that. So they would park people, sign things, and just generally kind of help with the organization of the inflow of people.
Super. Promotion team flyers. This is a little bit of a lesser time commitment for any awesome volunteers that are looking to just punch in a little bit before the event. And so the flyers are literally the event flyers that need to be distributed throughout Southwest Wisconsin, which could mean people would like to drive, they're headed out of town for a while, they can take some with them and post them up in different places, as long as it's coordinated with me what direction they're going, so I can mark it, check it off the list that it's been done. Or it could look like coming to the library and wanting to stuff some envelopes, prepaid mailing envelopes, so we can send them out to different places, and helping to research where we could send them. Maybe there's a food cooperative somewhere in, southern Minnesota that we think would be great to send one to. Cool. At this time, I just want to mention no reimbursement for mileage yet. I'll see if I can get that worked into a grant. Promotions team, social media. This is one area that Joy and Gabby and I have decided that all three of us would be in on this. As contact people, there's quite a bit going on here, but essentially it's about promoting the event through the Facebook page, through the Dia de los Muertos Facebook page, which means taking digital images that Gabby has already produced, being able to upload them into the Facebook page. The volunteer lead would have permission to be able to edit that Facebook page to make the posts. Everyone can read through the rest. It's essentially straightforward Facebook work for promotions before, on the day of, and then some recapping of that too. The secondary part to this is being able to access a shared Google Drive folder. And within that folder is where different professional and amateur photographers will be dumping their videos and photos. And then from there, we're able to, we're asking that the volunteers be able to assemble them and organize them so that we can use them for ongoing promotional and grant writing purposes.
I would like to add something on this. So we are going to ask to each team to document your process. So the Dia de los Muertos is also a big part about the process. So we want like each team like take photos or video, and then each team will share to this other team, promotion teams, their material, and they are going to be the person who will be like posting and selecting the material and posting in the Dia de los Muertos page. This will also help us to get, like Lacey said, like to get a grant or sponsor in the future. And also to document, so it's showing or showcase more about what is this, what is the tradition, no, not just only the event. It starts before and continue later.
Awesome, thank you, Gabby. There was a part we had talked about too, that this could be a really fun volunteer position for teacher, Spanish teacher or English teacher and their students. So we'll let folks read a little bit more about that if they're interested in this role. Security. If you are wanting to be a volunteer on the security team, we would love that. We want to really reinforce this year that this event is a safe place. And therefore the word security, and it's written all in capital letters, this seems very bold. I think essentially what we're getting after here though are peacekeepers and space keepers and people to really have a keen sense of when it's time to step in, and also in advance to that, just holding the space and making sure everything is running in the way that it is intended to be, is a place of safety and festivities. So also a secondary part to that is to be helpful with Dave X and the fireworks team as well. If anyone is interested in the security, please reach out to myself or to Joy, and we'd be happy to talk you through it a little bit more. Is there anything else you want to add on the security, Joy?
Also, this security will include keeping participants out of areas of the farm that are not safe, or there's animals, or there's garden beds. So just kind of directing the flow of traffic that way, and like keeping people out. Kids like to climb on farm equipment and jump on up to the haymow or stuff like that. We just want to make sure everybody's safe on the farm, because it can be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Then we just have a couple more yet. Gabby?
Yeah, translation services. These persons has to be bilingual. What this role is gonna do is like offer translation Spanish to English and English to Spanish throughout the day in a variety of scenarios. Spend time at the ofrenda every hour offering explanation of the purpose of the altar and items. We want Andrea did last year in the microphone explaining the meaning of the ofrenda, but this year we want to make like maybe every hour an explanation of what is the ofrenda about and explaining the meaning of the items, and also invite all the people to the ofrenda experience at the sunset and assist Joy with announcement. Like last year, for example, we were like going through each workshop and ask them like, when are you going to start another new workshop? And then they say in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then we make the announcement. And so these people will be like, okay, don't miss like the next Nixtamal workshop in 10 minutes. So now the people can know about it and what is happening. So they will be like announcing these activities and what is about happening in that moment. And welcome also the Consulate of Mexico staff members and assist them with their activity. They just confirmed me that they will bring some loteria. They don't have a lot like last year, but they say they will bring some this year. And so just being in contact with them and assist them like if they need a table or they need like some special supplies that they will need, and being in contact also with me, and I will be in contact with Joy if it's needed something from the farm. Yeah, that will be everything. That well, the commitment is the full day of the event.
Thank you, Gabby. All right, folks, just to be mindful of the time, we have only a few minutes left, but we are here at the last two. Joy, volunteer support team.
Yeah, so like we mentioned before, it's really important to us that we are mindful and of our volunteers' time and being supportive of them. So making sure that the volunteers have breaks, kind of covering for them at their different stations, as well as helping to assemble the volunteer lunch and distribute those.
Thank you, Joy. And then the welcome table as well. Welcome table is really important. It's the first impression people have as they're coming off of the talking with the parking squad, of course, but then they're coming up to the actual event. So this is we ask that people at the welcome table be bilingual to answer questions, direct people. And there's also a creative element to this where we are asking people to create the banner for the welcome table. That's it. So the full day event, but probably with an early finish, is the time commitment. And then what finishes out the surveys here are, if you're with an organization, if you're a student, there is this required question, which is probably going to catch a couple people at the end. We want to know if you have any dietary restrictions so we can start to plan out your volunteer meal for the day. And then a few other questions there to finish up the volunteer questionnaire. So thank you everyone for following us through with that. We thought it would be of great importance to speak about it a little bit so people can hear it straight from us, what we are thinking of for this year. And of course, if anyone has any questions about that, feel free to reach out to either one of us, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Also, feel free, if you have that link copied, to share this around and know that everyone who is wanting to volunteer for this year will be receiving this. And we're going to have some strong follow-up with you all by May of 2022 to keep moving this forward. Is there anything else anybody would like to share or add? Ale.
Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of work you already have done. Like, oh wow, it's like a lot, but thank you for doing that. I was just it's amazing. I am curious if you think about doing a workshop about letting know the people of the importance of monarch butterflies, and the importance of the milkweed and all the environmental thing, because especially because the ofrenda is for environmental activists. So it would be, I just thought it would be great, really great to let people know about the importance, like where the migration and then the life cycle for the kids, and probably like an art craft using recycled material, like we can do butterflies and then a mobile with the kids so they can display somewhere. Just because I'm an environmental educator, so it's like, oh, this could be amazing using recycled materials and create monarch butterflies, and letting know what is a monarch butterfly and the life of the monarch.
Yeah,
So
I
I don't know
love
if you
that
have-
idea.
me too. I'm really picking up on your passion about that, Ale. It's really awesome. And I already had it in my mind to contact a regional organization that focuses on monarchs and the restoration of their habitats in this larger region, to coordinate programs to happen through the library for all ages about this subject. But you know, I think I should just also ask them to attend our event as well and set up a booth so they can continue their organization's mission work through the audience and participants at our Day of the Dead event. So that's awesome. And I
Yes,
also
I love that.
yeah.
That's amazing. I think like that could be also like thinking about the mobiles, they can be part of the ofrenda too. Like if the people wants to put it there, I'm just picturing that in the part of the ofrenda.
I had another idea too with the butterflies, and it kind of goes along with what Ale was saying, like about raising awareness about the migration. And I thought about, you know, kind of similar to making small butterflies that we can put on the mural, but I was thinking of like having a place where we could put them on the, like pin them to the trees and kind of show like kind of how they cluster in the trees. People could put their name on the person who passed away and pin it onto the tree as well. And you could kind of have them all over.
Yeah, beautiful. I love this. Absolutely.
Also, we can. I thinking about papel picado, like we can make also some of the butterfly kind of in butterfly patterns. So
Nice.
all about butterflies and all about the environment. And it's
Also on that note too, and it'll be one of the last final things I want to add, is I would like everyone to know that on Saturday, April 2nd, myself, Gabriella, and Joy are hosting a Zoom program with featured artists and commentators about the subject of corn, maize, and it's called The Native Seed. And talking about environmental impacts on and preservation of corn seeds. And then also follow up with that too is using corn for artistic purposes. So that is April 2nd. It begins at 9 a.m. There's a break. You can find the Zoom link on the library's website and in Facebook posts too.
the foundation that is gonna be there. It's like a very important foundation in Mexico that they are in contact with the producers and with the farmers, and they organize this to empower and to keep the native seed. So it's I think I just feel this topic very important, and it's something that we can share, and it's the seed belongs to Mexico, but the importance is beyond that. So it's important that we have a healthy food, avoiding those transgenic and those that genetic modified seeds. So yeah, it's about this. It's gonna be about this and about the corn and in art.
Thank you, Gabby, for expanding on that. That's great. Well, to be mindful of the time, It's now a little bit after an hour of meeting, so I think we should let ourselves go for the night unless there are any burning questions or anything left to go over. Yeah, Dana?
I just had a quick comment about or I guess suggestion for security. I'm wondering if you could attract more of the type of person that you're trying to attract if you use the word like safe space keeper or something, just because security has so many pre-existing connotations that even if you read
Mhm.
that description,
Mhm.
you might still
Thank you.
attract a person who has a different idea of it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely put some consideration behind that for sure. Thank you. Yeah, and if when you're taking the questionnaire too, if you see anything else, give us some feedback. You're the first 4 that will be, looking over that, and then we can also adjust it from there too before it goes out to many, many, many more amazing volunteers.
And along those lines too, all of you that are here and who watch it later, feel free to reach out to others who might want to volunteer, pass the form along, share stuff on Facebook. Yeah, we want lots of people to be able to participate. So share.
Thank you everyone so much for your time. We'll be in touch soon, yes?
Gracias.
Okay.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.